Good morning, good day, good evening. My name is Jonathan Ring, also known as New Questions from blockchaineducation.com.au. 2020. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's to all of you who are watching, especially those members who are watching. Great. Thank you for your support in 2019. It was a big year for Bitcoin. It was a big year for the company as well. And I'm pretty sure 2020 is going to be even better because we have a load of announcements coming out. I'm not going to talk about those in this video. This video is going to be a market recap video, but exciting stuff coming up. Is Bitcoin exciting right now? Not really. It's a bit sideways, and when the ADX goes below the trend threshold, we're essentially running sideways, which is not all that exciting unless, of course, you're an altcoin trader and you're making gains by temporarily trading altcoins in and out of the value of Bitcoin. Now, we're going to have a look at some of those now. Where do I think Bitcoin's going to go from here? Let's look at the macro point of view. I'm a little bit bearish. I got to say, I'm just a little bit bearish. Now, I wouldn't say a lot bearish, but right now I don't see, I don't know, let's go and have a look. Let's start by having a look at this chart, which is Bitcoin. You can see that we had that recent move above 10,000 and then we sort of broke back down. We went red on the Madrid moving averages, and where we sort of crossed over here from green to red, I want to run a Fibonacci retracement from kind of this area here down. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this kind of looks pretty epic to me. So our initial extreme for the Fibonacci area was here, where we basically went from green to red. And our other extreme is kind of, what would you call this? The bottom, the floor. And I gotta say, there's an awful lot of hits here. Look, here on this Fibonacci level, on this Fibonacci level, comes down into this Fibonacci level, sits here, and then we came down here, and then we sit here, and we sort of sit here, and we sit here, and we come back in here, and we come down here, and we sort of find some resistance here. We find some support here, some support down here. We end up sitting on this area. We come up in here, we find a bit of resistance. We come back here, we come back here, and we come back here. To me, this looks like the price is respecting these particular Fibonacci levels. You can see them coming down the side here. So where does that mean we're going from here? Well, we could go back up to 7,500, or we could dip down into that 6,600 zone. Ultimately, I would kind of suggest, although technically speaking, we've had a recent higher high, I'm just not very bullish on this, to be honest. I think this area here is very choppy, very sideways. You can see the ADX are actually below the ADX. We're continuing lower. So more sideways action, I think. Let's go and have a look at some of the coins that have done pretty well so far. I'm going to have a look at a little list here. So I'm going to start with Waves. Waves BTC on the 4-hour. You can see we had an absolutely beautiful entry down here as we crossed over that 200 area. Look at this beautiful entry here. ADX trending, DI positive, breaks above the 200 algorithmic entry, and Lend has absolutely flown since the middle of December, going as high as 80% in 20 days. It's not the first time Lend's done something spectacular either. Do I think it continue going? I think so. I got to say, this is a series of sustained higher lows. We're continuing to go higher. Will we make a higher low in this 1500 area and then continue to make another higher high a little bit higher? We could very well go. Otherwise, 1500 is going to be the top. I'm not exactly sure, but I would not be suggesting this is a good time to enter. Good time to enter is probably when our analysts or algorithms tell you when to enter. But you've got to say that it come back onto that 50 a few times and continued higher. So not a bad looking trend. Let's have a look at Atom. Atom also doing something similar. You can see actually Atom's been running a lot longer, respecting the 200 moving average. When it originally broke over the 200, we had this move sort of up and then back straight into that 200. We found support at the 200 again and again, and it just continues to go higher. A series of higher lows and higher highs. We sort of sit at that 6,000 point right now. Will we continue higher? Ooh, it's hard to say. I've got to say, this is a real difficult one. Technically speaking, I think a recent trend's broken. Or maybe not. Let's have a look. I'll just sort of shove that up there. Very, very interesting. Definitely a level of support here anyway, to be sort of thinking about. If we run a sort of a level through here, we've got an awful lot of times when this acted as resistance, a bit of resistance, but also a bit of support. So not a bad entry really. If we do make a higher high around that 7,500, really not too bad. Got the 200 moving average here as support, and also this prior area as a sort of support level as well to go even higher. Atom doing not too bad. Zen BTC, I'm going to have a look at this on the 45-minute candle because it's really been quite explosive. You can see we initially broke above this 200 moving average in this area here. Beautiful algorithmic entry, running as high as 45% in 3 days. Nice series of continued sustained higher lows. We had this beautiful high up here around about 13,000. Do I think this area is going to hold and go higher? I kind of do. Look, we had a nice move back into the 50 moving average, nice move back into the 50 moving average, nice move back into the 50 moving average. We may go even higher. So interesting setup there on Zen. Let's have a look at GoBTC, GoChain. Explosive movement here. Early identification by the algorithms and the analysts. As we broke over, we're looking at around about 37% in the last 17 hours. So continuing higher there. Not sure I can recommend an entry on any of these ones right about now because of the fact that they've all actually kicked on pretty nicely. BAT has done some interesting things since the algorithmic entry. Beautiful move across the 200 here. We went DI positive, DI positive, ADX trending here. Just a really nice run here. As much as, what are we talking about here? So about 18%, and then coming back in and doing another 15 to 16%. So BAT doing some interesting things. Let's have a look at it on the 4 hour. You can see that there was a huge reversal in fortunes as it broke over the 200 moving average, come back into this same sort of area, and has continued to create a new higher high and a new higher low. Not so sure I could recommend an entry here. DI positive, but ADX seems to be sort of all over the place right now. Let's have a look at DLT. DLT on the 45-minute chart. What is this? Agrello 45 minutes. Let's have a look. So not too bad at all. Using the 200 moving average as a place of bullish support. You can see here, not too bad. Very pumpy dumpy. I've got to say, these look very pumpy dumpy. Not too bad, I suppose. System was picking this up, got into it multiple times. Same with REQ as well. You can see REQ very, very pumpy dumpy as well. But a series of sustained higher lows and higher highs. So not really too bad there. I got to say that a lot of these top coins, like Ethereum, what would we call them, top 20 coins, we have seen a bit of a resurgence, but that was kind of short-lived. So you can see we had a nice break above the 200, got up here, and then I don't know if we can, we missed out on a new higher high. Same sort of thing happening in EOS as well. So you can see that we actually have a series of sort of higher lows for EOS, continuing higher. Is this going to last? I'm not sure. I mean, they are appreciating against Bitcoin over the last month or so. So EOS not looking too bad, to be honest. Dash, we had a pretty aggressive move by Dash. You can see I've already sort of done some charting here. Let's clean this up a little bit. Pretty aggressive move, but ultimately coming back into that 200 moving average and really failing to kick to a new higher high. I was kind of hoping we would get a higher high relative to this, but we kind of haven't. We've hit the RSI cave and we've actually fallen under the 200 moving average. So I think we're going to see a lot of this with some of these top coins. They were all starting to do pretty well against Bitcoin. And then as Bitcoin found a bit of support, they've all sort of come crashing back. You can see beautiful algorithmic entry come up here, found this sort of double top pattern that we see in so many, and then back down to this 200 moving average. Not so sure I can sort of recommend an entry because we've actually been sliding below the 200 moving average on so many of these top coins. Let's have a look at Stellar. Same sort of situation, coming up and out, finding some sort of double top pattern, then coming back into that 200 moving average. XRP, EOS and XRP are the only ones who kind of bucked the trend. We're having a series of higher lows and higher highs for Ripple. So maybe after months, if not years of downtrend activity, Ripple might be heading higher. I've got to say that due to the low volume and liquidity and volatility and all these serious whales and institutional traders leaving the market through Christmas, there have been a lot of chop, a lot of sideways chop, as we saw at the beginning of the video. ADX below trend threshold, running sideways, Bitcoin around that $7,000 level. Altcoins similarly undecided as to what direction they should go in. A couple of outstanding moves there, but I don't know, they were very pumpy and very dumpy. Fast, if you're in the system, obviously you pick up these very quick because the discovery systems and the analysts know all about this sort of stuff. Let's go and have a real quick look at some of the automated and manual entries provided by the system. You guys can just do the slow motion scroll thing. You can see some pretty sustained, nice, decent 10 to 15% profits here by the analysts, and then a whole bunch of sort of anywhere between 3 and 10% entries across the board for pretty much about 2 weeks now. This is indicative of a sideways market. We can see awful lot of entries here. Nice little chunky BTC versus waves entries. And again, ETC. We talked about a lot of these coins, 13, 20s, that sort of thing. So some pretty decent sort of movement, but nothing ultra spectacular. Just going to continue scrolling down. So sometimes we see 100, 200, 300% altcoin moves. Haven't really seen too much of that over the last couple of weeks. Just lots of 10, 15, 20% moves, which is great if you're actively trading these markets and you focus on our methodology and you're applying the entry and the exits and you're accumulating Bitcoin going into 2020. Not a bad idea. What was 2019 like for Bitcoin? Not too bad. Doubled in value. Started the year at about 3,300. Actually quintupled up to about 14,000, and then came back into this current 7,200 zone. So more than doubled. So not too bad for Bitcoin. Where to from here? I'm personally a little bit bearish. I'm not all that convinced that this $7,200, $7,300 zone can hold, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to make any outlandish predictions like so many other people on YouTube. Just have this feeling that we spent an awful lot of time on this area, and it's starting to look very similar to what happened last time we sat on this support level, where eventually it just gave way and we dropped all the way back down to 3,000. So we'll see how the markets go. Ultimately, the best way to trade these sideways markets is to be moving in and out of altcoins and making these little percentages along the way. A couple of huge announcements coming up. I'm not going to do them here, but ultimately we have a huge automated signal system rolling out. We have a 300-page curriculum rolling out. Lots of stuff coming up in an update video that I'll do pretty soon. For now, timid markets, a little bit unsure. Yeah, I wouldn't say the best markets to be trading. If you have a couple of weeks where you just want to work on your technical analysis, catch up with some of the videos, maybe step out of the trading game just a little while, not such a bad idea around about Christmas. Christmas, January, we always get some weird sort of bit of sideways action, a lot of technical analysis and fundamental analysis manipulation in this period of time. All right, I look forward to seeing you as a member. If you're a member, good on you. Thank you for your support. If you're not, you definitely should come and check us out. I mean, I definitely think that we're one of the best signals group, if not the best signals group in the whole crypto space. Certainly got some of the most interesting educational videos. We've got support system, discovery systems, world first systems. We've got a great curriculum, hundreds of videos by myself and some of our other analysts. You can check us out for 7 days, enjoy the entire system, get into some of the calls, automatically enter and exit. And at the end of the day, if you don't like it, you can ask for a refund. Not very many people do at all. In fact, most people stay with us for a long period of time. We've had members with us for 2 or 3 years now. I want to see you as a member in 2020. So take advantage of the low price right now and get in before Bitcoin absolutely goes nuts. And if Bitcoin doesn't go crazy, well, the altcoins will. And that's the ticket to making money in this markets. Like, subscribe, comment, share it with your friends, or become a member. Look forward to seeing you. Cheers.